What up, good people? Welcome into the Full Coverage Football Show. My name is Jeremy. I am rocking Lions colors tonight, which is crazy. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We got a fun show planned for you. We're going to talk headlines. We're going to talk about who would win in a fight between Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan. I know who I got. We'll see who Drew has. We're going to be joined by Detroit Beastie. Mr. Chris is going to join us hopefully for a little bit. We got Ward's Wages coming up. We got picks and previews and all kinds of fun. We'll see you in about 30 seconds. What up now, good people? You caught me just in time to mix my drink here and a little bit of Jack to my Coke there. I am Jeremy. That is Drew. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's everything on your end of town? You know, I'm a West Sider now. I just want to make sure everything's okay over there on the East.
Listen, I'm holding it down on the East side for you.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure it's good. Like I said, I'm rocking my Lions colors tonight, so I'm rocking the D tonight, too. With my Indians hat for the last weekend, I can rock an Indians hat because we're going Guardians next week. We got Thursday Night Football. What's going on Thursday Night Football tonight, brother?
Listen, you know, I have a feeling Texans are bad, and we saw Tyrod Taylor was actually really solid. Yes, the Ravens are going to beat the shit out of the Lions, Rob. And I'm not a fan of that. But no, it's tough. You know, you have David Mills in there, and this is his first start. So the Tyrod Taylor was solid, you know, right out of the gates. They played really well in a 1 week one. And then Tyrod Taylor just seems to have really bad luck with injuries and his lung being punctured by doctors and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't get stabbed by the doctors.
Yeah, exactly. But this is uphill sledding here, you know, especially for the Texans giving up an early touchdown. So I expect some more of the same. Panthers have the ball, and then here we go.
Sounds good. Let's get this show on the road. We are being joined tonight. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Detroit Beastie coming on the show. Chris, brother, how you doing tonight?
Good, boys. I was here about 5 minutes ago because I was like, you know what? There is no way my connection is shitty again. I've done like literally all day today, all day yesterday. That's all I've done is broadcast. And I go, if I join in 5 minutes early and they put me on and the connection is dog shit, unfortunately, I can't put myself through that again. But we're here and the connection. I bought one of those little Wi-Fi extender things. It's like a little square. Nice. You plug it in. It's got like little antennas.
I have those too, yeah.
And I'm gravy, so we're good to go tonight.
Listen, that's what I wish I would have had the past couple weeks because Drew's basically been doing the show by himself. I was disappearing multiple times last week.
It's not just you, it's him, Chris. Like everybody just dropping off, and it's like I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at myself, and it's, you know, I'm glad that we're ready to rock and roll.
So how you been, brother?
There it goes. Dude, I'm fantastic. A lot of good things happening. The light is on my face big time. No, a lot of good things happening. I can't complain. People, they want to hear what I have to say, and it's wild to me that we're getting to this point. Obviously, not nearly where you want to be. I think to say that could be said for anybody, but you know, we're all well on our way. So I'm happy to be joining you and any and all broadcast. Anytime with you boys is fantastic.
It's always good to have you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
So what we got going on in bottom of the barrel this week? Who you liking?
Well, you know what's wild to me is bottom of the barrel, I have the same routine. I've had the same thing for years now. I write it. I basically do the notes Sunday night, right? Nobody is publishing DFS content that early in the week for the following week. So I put pen to paper. I write it Monday. If I can, I'll publish it Monday night, early Tuesday morning. I know you didn't ask for my routine. You probably don't give a shit, but it goes into what I'm trying to get at. I love Daniel Jones this week and all the New York Giants, and then look at where we are now. It's Thursday night, and that's all I've seen. People talking about Daniel Jones, he's going to be good, he's going to do that. Well, you heard it here first. He was in bottom of the barrel like on Monday night, Tuesday morning. Again, Danny Jones, $7,400 on FanDuel, $5,800 on DraftKings, facing the Atlanta Falcons at home. They're 28th overall. Now, the thing with Daniel Jones, you know, everybody's on board with him, so there's not much not much you can do, especially in a GPP. But we have to understand that what I say, it's not like what I write and what I say is being read and by millions of folks. Like nothing I say or do is going to sway ownership percentages. So when you see people on social media go, "Oh, I'm all about Daniel Jones," it's a small microcosm, just a small piece of the puzzle. So I'm cool with playing Daniel Jones in any all formats this weekend. And I also love, I mean, Stafford stud. What can we say about him? His price is still low. It's insane to me. Only $7,600 on FanDuel, $6,400 on DraftKings. Playing Tampa Bay, who hasn't really gotten it together on defense, but when they do, it'll be wild. But I still don't think it's this week. They're 27th overall against quarterbacks. And one more guy at quarterback, Herbert. I mean, I just say that really quick. I mean, Kansas City 6th overall against quarterbacks. But look, this has one of the highest, if not the highest, over-unders of the entire slate. So I think in terms of betting, I like the Chargers +7. I don't think they win, but I think they cover. I think it'll be close, 34-31, and Herbert can cover, and I think he does something well for the price on FanDuel. Running backs, we can leave that be. I mean, I got a ton of time, but I don't want to just talk for a half an hour here, so.
Chris,
I could. We know, man. I could, but
let me ask you this, because when you're talking about this, and I kind of think of this from the golf perspective, when we're talking DFS more than now you're in the football scheme of things. But when you're looking at guys, are you taking into account, like, you're trying to find guys that you think they're going to be lower ownership, or you're trying to think like they're thinking just to try to gain an advantage, and then you kind of just piece your guys that are lower down kind of based off that and based off upside? Is that kind of your process when you jump into this thing?
Yeah, kind of, but like the ownership percentages and looking at guys that are going to be low owned, that comes later in the week, right? So it's not backwards, but that's a part of the puzzle. But it all starts to fall in place around this time, Thursday night, Friday night, and a little bit Saturday morning. So when I write bottom of the barrel, or when I discuss anything DFS early in the week, right, and tonight would be the cutoff, I don't even get into ownership percentages until we have a full like 4 or 5 days and all the optimizers and the thing. Team Rise or Fall, I'm not, no pun intended, not trying to plug it, but they have ownership percentages and it updates like every hour. And, Monday, Tuesday, there's really no research to be pumped into that. But when you get into Friday night and Saturday, a lot of lineups have been built by then. So ownership percentage to me is only important like late Friday and into Saturday, and then obviously Sunday morning. So I think it would be weird of me to talk ownership percentages on a Monday, right, when the slate is like 5-6 days away. But that's a massive piece of the puzzle. And then it just crazy how everything falls into place. You look at the cost of these guys, you get them in the article, you talk about them for a few days, and then like a guy like Daniel Jones, I honestly, we could revisit this next week, or I'll send you a tweet, Saturday or Sunday morning. I still don't think Daniel Jones's ownership percentage is going to be over 10% on FanDuel or DraftKings. I'd be shocked if it was anything like 12% or higher.
Yeah, Danny Dimes looked pretty good last week. He had the touchdown pass to Slayton. Barely missed another pass to him. So seeing him light up the Falcons wouldn't be surprising at all.
He's a dual threat quarterback. Let's call it what it is. The guy can get it done on the ground with his legs, and hopefully he's coming into his own, in the air. And again, I made a joke in bottom of the barrel when I published it this week. I've sent a screenshot to a bunch of people where it says, "Is he that was my exact words? Is he a dual threat quarterback?" And as a joke, and then as the week has kind of gone by, people are taking it serious. So I guess it's time to think that Daniel Jones is a threat for what, boys? 40, 50 yards on the ground. Anytime he's on the field, and that's 4 or 5 extra points added on to what he can do with his arm. And hopefully kid is coming around. I've always liked Daniel Jones, so let's fingers crossed that he does well on Sunday and everybody's happy.
No, I like it. I do. And yeah, to your point, just because more people on social media are more into Daniel Jones than they were earlier in the week, that doesn't mean that the main population is necessarily going to be in. So yeah, I would project the ownership to be, below 10%.
Yeah, there's millions of folks playing on FanDuel and DraftKings.
Right.
So what kind of egomaniac would I be to think that my bottom of the barrel of the broadcast I'm on could sway ownership percentages?
On social media, it can. It certainly can. But there's some guy that's just saying, "Oh, I know who Patrick Mahomes is."
Yep. Let's add him in. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
On the running back side of things, I mean, we have to look at Saquon Barkley. Look how cheap he is. When have you? I mean, we've known each other for what? Probably this is our second season, right? We met. Maybe let's just call it what it is, like 17, 18 months ago. And have you ever read Bottom of the Barrel and there was a superstar running back mentioned in there? Rare? No, not this week is the first time ever. Saquon Barkley, he's still a superstar. He hasn't done anything to kind of freak me out. I'm not a big panicker, but he's only $6,000 on FanDuel, $6,500 on DraftKings, and I've gotten into the Yahoo DFS, which is fantastic, and he's only $24 there. So this weekend, I mean, again, only at that price, you have to look at him. But again, now here's a guy like Chris Collinsworth always says, where he's going to be, there's no in between here. You're either going to play him or you're not going to play him. And you can get a good gauge of that on social media. I know a lot of folks, and you guys are well connected on Twitter too. A lot of people are freaking out about him in seasonal leagues. They're jumping ship. They're cutting bait. They're trading him for pennies on the dollar. And over here with DFS formats, I'm going to have a massive ownership in Saquon Barkley. I also love, and this is going to be crazy, call it what it is, Devontae Booker. The same game, same Giants running back. Booker's only $5,100 on FanDuel, $4,600 on DraftKings. I just see a case here where the Giants, let me look at what I have for the final score there. You know I got all that written down too.
Oh, we know. And you probably, you got to highlight it.
Oh, absolutely. So I have the Giants. Let me bring this up. Atlanta's in the Giants. I have that final being about 34-21 here. So the Giants will put up 30 plus points. Wow. And I think that the other end of that, Atlanta being 21, I think the last like 7 or 10 points of that game are Atlanta's, but it's like midway through the fourth quarter. So it's one of those games where it's going to say, yeah, it looks a lot closer on paper, but it was a blowout by all reasons. So I think Devontae Booker gets a little bit of run here. And again, that's going to freak out the Saquon Barkley folks because, you know, we want Saquon Barkley for 30 touches. We want him to play from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. But if they're up 20 points or 21 points like that, why would you run Saquon into the ground, especially in a 17-game slate? You got to hold your horses here. And one more running. Actually, let's mention two more. The Williams brothers, Javonte Williams in Denver, and then Jamal Williams here in Detroit. Javonte only $5,800 on FanDuel, $4,900 on DraftKings. Now, I've been saying it all spring and summer. I think that somewhere along the lines in the season, hopefully this week, Javonte just grabs hold of this RB1 in Denver. Him and Melvin Gordon had the exact same amount of carries last week. I believe it was, maybe you could fact check this. I believe it was 13 carries apiece, but Javonte did more. He had more yardage. He was more efficient. He had more average, by his rushing yardage. And so this coaching staff knows the deal. They want him to be the heir apparent at running back, and it's going to start this week. And I'll be accountable here. I've been saying Javonte Williams is going to, take over the reins since week 1, and here we are in week 3, and I'm still saying the same thing. So hopefully it happens. Now, when it comes to Jamal here in Detroit, you can see I got my I won that Swift. I
know you did. Sick.
That was sweet. Yeah, so I got it hang. Let me move this way. Next to the Buffalo Bills CJ Spiller jersey. Who on earth knows a guy that has a Buffalo CJ Spiller jersey? Me.
I do.
Yeah. Jamal Williams only $5,600 on FanDuel, $5,100 on DraftKings, and with Jamal Williams, it's pretty clear. I'm not even saying this as a Lions guy, but you shouldn't even have to say this after what happened in week 1. I believe him and Swift were both in the top 10 overall in terms of FanDuel points, DraftKings points. Kind of, nothing happened in Green Bay. That was a bad news. But again, I fully expect Baltimore to just throttle the Lions. That's no secret there.
Hey, let me hit on that real quick. I saw you on Woodward Sports. This is Mr. Big Time, by the way, Jeremy. I don't know if you he's being on Woodward Sports. That's kind of a big deal. Like, right?
It's a regular. Congratulations. It's a regular everyday gig now. 1:00 we go over. I was in studio with them this past Sunday in Birmingham.
Big, and I've seen it, and it's fantastic, and Chris, well deserved. But I saw you say that you would take Baltimore minus 25.
Absolutely. I have the final. Again, you know what? People, you can say Chris is a great man. He's positive. He doesn't get into a lot of shit talking, and he's not. There's no nonsense. He's not, picking on people and being a creep in DMs. I don't act that way, and so. I never, since day one, I probably even said it on this broadcast before. I don't want to be the guy that people go, oh yeah, Detroit Beastie, he's a great guy, he's interesting, but he's a homer. Therefore, your content kind of loses its steam, right? So again, I call it as I see it, right? I thought the Lions had a chance at Monday night. I said they were going to win. Let's be honest, that's a special event. It's Monday Night Football, only game on. You can say things that most wouldn't say. But Sunday in Detroit, Baltimore is just going to hammer the Lions, and I think that's legit. I have the final in this one, Drew, at like 41-10, so you could add on 30 points, and I think that Baltimore would still win in this one. And again, I'm just being honest here. We see Baltimore, they've played okay, but this is a good time for them to get right. I know a lot of folks are freaked out. Lamar Jackson didn't play. He stayed home, actually, because his hip was sore, because he did some hot dogging into the end zone. I don't think it matters. They're letting him rest so he can just go nuts in Detroit on Sunday.
30 points is a big victory for them, but hey,
I know
that's the Lions have played.
That's a college spread.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a college spread.
But no, hey, super cool seeing you on Woodward Sports, man, and well deserved. That's
thank you.
To the moon.
It was in the works for, pull a curtain back. What do I care? It was in the works. Scott G, right? He's the one that I've been with. He reached out to me about a month or two ago because he had some interest. And actually, his name is Chris Prince. He's been like the #1 overall DFS player for a lot of years. Beers Maker fan. He does a lot of stuff, at the big time DFS companies and everything. And Chris said, we had a meeting, and Chris said, I've noticed your social media presence, and you kind of, started from scratch, and here you are. So the hard work and the tenacity, and that's also what Team Rise or Fall did. Mitch reached out to me and goes, what would it take for you to come over here? And we sat down and talked. So it's just been an honor for someone I respect like Mitch, or someone that I've always watched Chris's videos. And I know a lot of people, right now in this day and age, if you're doing DFS videos, I know a lot of folks that say, go look at Chris Prince, Beer Makers fans video, and kind of, he's the template for DFS video greatness. Sure. So for him to say, wow, I like what you're doing. He's close. He's local here. He's like 30 minutes away. He's in Canton, Michigan. I'm sure, Drew, you know where that is.
Sure do.
Jeremy, I'm not sure. But he was going to be with us on Sunday, but his aunt died suddenly over the weekend. So, Yeah, so all the love and prayers to Chris and his family, and I believe he'll be back this coming weekend. So moving forward, Woodward wants. I've been on with Woodward almost every day since Sunday at 1 p.m. talking DFS, a little bit of baseball. So yeah, it's awesome. I don't take that responsibility lightly. I've said it here. It's not that things are going to change. The accessibility is not going anywhere, and I feel like an ass. I feel like I'm talking like I've just won an Academy Award. It's not that important. I appreciate all the love and all the support, and none of that will ever go away. The accessibility and the way that I present and broadcast.
That's what makes it great to have you on and great to know you. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here rocking a Rise with Beastie or Fall Alone hoodie tonight.
I need to order one of those.
We got them this weekend. We'll put them up. You can get them on our website. I will post that tomorrow with the code Beastie5. Get 5% off. And all the money still goes to charity. So if you want a chance, check out my Twitter at Somerville CLE tomorrow for that.
I need to reach out to them. Last year, if you guys care, I know. What do you guys have? You got to fill like an hour, or you just end it when you would like to?
Man, our show just goes whenever.
Yeah. We just do whatever the hell we want, pretty much.
Good. Well, I got nothing but time, so if you'll have me for another 20, 30 minutes, I'm in.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Our show's your show whenever you want to join, however you want to be on. We're good with it.
What I was going to say last year, the Pros versus Joes, right? They had me back, and it was all about last year. It was another, animal rescue here locally, right? And they rescue wild animals. It's not about home cats, home dogs there, but foxes and squirrels and skunks, possums, whatever. And I reached out to them. I sent them a message, and I said, hey, I know this is something weird to kind of to see because I'm a nobody, but I play fantasy football. I'm pretty good at it. I can get some donations. and you know the shirts that you sold last season. I don't know how many sold. I would say 5 or 6. They weren't flying off the shelves, but I reached out to them on Facebook several times, and not one person ever got back to me and says, "Oh, thank you for what you did. We had an influx of donations." And I know, when it comes to donations and that stuff, I'm not one to be in your face and go, "Oh, look at me, look what I did."
Yeah.
But just one, like, this was private, just one message back to say, "Hey, we don't know you, you don't know us, but we did get some. We saw an influx of cash, and thank you for reaching out and doing what you're doing." So, no offense, I won't give their name. It's not an issue. They're still doing their thing. It's fantastic. But I wanted to reach out to another, wildlife rescue, and the one I'm with now, Wild Heart, I believe is the name. We're in constant communication. I reach out to them. They said thank you. They let me name a squirrel that fell out of a tree and that they were rehabbing. So, I mean, it's just been good. So I appreciate everybody who donated, and the Pros vs. Joes League is up and running well.
Yeah, last year we sold 9 shirts, donated about $55 from the proceeds. This year so far we've sold 2 of the Rise with Beastie shirts, and we've made about $8 off that. But all that money's going straight to charity. No profit for us, nothing out of it for us except for taking care of the animals and helping them.
Yeah, I think I know what I need to do. I need to buy that hoodie and wear it and get some more awareness around. But to be honest with you, I've never been good with that. Like, oh, look at me, or go here. And I've never been good with promoting stuff. I've always figured,
That's why we don't.
if what you bring to the table is good enough, then, word of mouth will carry around. And I know a lot of folks in today's day and age, they want instant gratification. Yep. They want money now, and they want this now. And again, it's a slow burn. And if you're ready to, or willing to put in the work and do your thing, then that'll come. And that's all I'm not worried about. I don't have a Patreon. I'm not worried about, people paying for my content to me personally. I'm happy to give it away for free, and I'm happy to share everything that I'm doing with folks at any time. I mean, as you said, Drew, here they are highlighted. I mean, I got tabs in this. Nothing new. What am I going to do with this? It's just going to be dust this time next year. So why not give every ounce of my method and opinion away?
You should keep like a box over time. You got yourself muted, Chris.
Yep.
Oh, whoopsie. I do have a box over there with the bottom of the barrel notes going back like 4 seasons. I have a stack of my rankings that go back to, I believe, like 2008. I don't know where those are, but I have the bottom of the barrel ones, and I kept every one I did last season because it finally broke out in a way, and I want to keep that and look at that and just do something special with it. I don't know what I would do. It would take up so many rooms, or take so much space on the wall if I framed every week. I mean, I wrote like 25 of them last year.
We do have breaking news into the show. Christian McCaffrey, hamstring injury. Drew, can't be good for you.
Football.
Hamstring with CMC.
What are you going to do?
Happens every time.
Yep.
Not to be a jerk, but you can never predict an injury, and I'm not going to be an asshole and say I told you so. But I did in my Thursday night DFS video. I did tell folks that I like DJ Moore in the captain spot, and I was going to fade Christian McCaffrey, not under the guise that he was going to get injured. How do you predict that? Just under the fact that he was going to be 100% owned. And if you're looking for anything of note money-wise, it just didn't make sense. Everybody's on him. There was no money to be made there. So, again, wish CMC the best, and I hope he's fine. He's just so talented. Come on.
Best player by far in fantasy, it feels like. No matter what year, he's always getting you points for at least, past 3 years. Probably top guy.
Absolutely.
No
Want to talk about some wide receivers in bottom of the barrel?
Yeah,
let's do it, man.
Or running backs. We didn't even go over running backs. I took up 30 minutes just bullshitting with you.
We got the Javonte Williams talk. We got the Jamal Williams.
Oh, you're
talk.
right. Yeah. I'm going to stick with James White too.
Going back to that, you were right. It was 13 carries each for Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. Javonte had, I believe, 64 yards on those 13 carries and 31 for Melvin Gordon.
Okay, so it was close, but you can see what's heading down the pipeline here, and you'd be a fool not to see that given where they drafted Javonte here. One more running back I want to mention. I was so in on James White last week. I made graphics. I pounded the ground for him, and he scored a touchdown. I believe it was in the first first half, and you got to love that. Like when you put your phone down and you eat lunch and then you go back and you check Twitter or Facebook and you have 1,000 messages because people go, oh my God, good call on James White. So the right thing to do was double down on him again. New England goes to the Jets. Jets are 20th overall against opposing running backs. $4,800 on FanDuel, only $4,600 on DraftKings. Now, if you look at that backfield, Damian Harris, I love Damian Harris. What are we going to do with the rookie Ramondre Stevenson? And it doesn't matter between those two running backs because James White has a role. Like he's their passing down back. So there's not too much that can be thrown his way that he won't, produce for us.
Write that one down as well. James White. I'm just making a team over here.
Yeah,
getting all my notes down so I can get it when I sign up in a little bit here. Who do you like at wide receiver?
Oh, boy, I got a bunch of them. I want to mention Chase Claypool really quick. Pittsburgh takes on Vegas. Vegas is 27th overall against opposing wide receivers. He's $5,900 on FanDuel, $5,600 on DraftKings. Now, as it stands now, I removed Deontay Johnson from Week 3 rankings. I don't know. I don't think he's going to play. It's some sort of leg injury. Was it a knee or a calf injury?
Yeah, it looked like a knee injury at the end of that game.
But I think it'd be wise of them since it's so early on in the season, right? And they're playing Vegas, and there is some on the line. This is their jobs here, but I think that it'd be best if they rested Deontay Johnson. So I think Claypool can have a game here. I'm not projecting like a 3-4 touchdown game like he did once. Maybe I think he did that twice last year. I'm not saying 4 touchdowns, but Chase Claypool is going to be involved. And if you can get one of those wide receivers at the expense of the other two, then that's what I'm going to do. So if you have Deontay Johnson not playing, then you're dealing with Juju and Claypool, and I like Claypool's chances of being that alpha wide receiver of the two there. I want to go back to Devontae Smith. The Philadelphia Eagles play, I believe they play Dallas on Monday night. I was looking at bottom of the barrel week 2, and these plays are still good because I kind of repeat them there. In terms of who was I talking about? I was talking about
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he's not in this week, so that was week 2. We can rewind it and go back. So in week 3, I hypnotized myself with all the stickers and all the highlighting.
I can imagine.
I can't even keep pace. So for wide receivers, I think we need to look at Henry Ruggs III at Vegas. As I said, is playing Miami. Miami's 8th overall against wide receivers, but I have a feeling that Henry Ruggs at his price, what is it again? It is $5,600 on FanDuel, $5,200 on DraftKings. I think after all this time, the breakout of Henry Ruggs is upon us. I finally feel like this coaching staff knows what they have and they know how to work him in. I mean, look at last year, first round selection in real life, and people just buried the guy. They were like, this kid sucks. He didn't live up to his potential. Well, rightfully so for one season, but these kids are young. They come from organizations in college where they are everything. Like Henry Ruggs can walk around campus and he's the man. And then when you get to NFL, you're humbled. It humbles you big time. So I believe Henry Ruggs III is in play from this day moving forward. I love the Kenny Golladay here to stack with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley here. Kenny G is $5,600 on FanDuel, $5,600 on DraftKings, a rarity where he's the same on both sides. Now with Kenny Golladay, I believe there's a case to be made here where you're going to get Kenny G at low ownership. People are, after 2 weeks of the season, he was their big money offseason acquisition, and all he's done is kind of yell at folks on the sideline. So again, yeah, the saying is something mentioned this to me, earlier in the week, where the squeaky wheel always gets the grease. So I believe that regardless of Shepard or Slayton, I believe they make it a point to get Kenny G rolling here. And at his price against Atlanta, it's very looks good on paper here. One more wide receiver. We'll just do a lightning round if we can. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Drew, that might be a good move, or Jeremy for your Cleveland Browns. We already know that Jarvis Landry is out. I believe right before you boys went live, it was said that Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be active here. So again, regardless, I love Donovan Peoples-Jones to kind of step up into that wide receiver 2 role in tandem of Odell Beckham. And again, not to be rude or not to be a dickhead, but if Odell Beckham is playing, how long will he be on the field? Can we trust that? Is it going to be like a one drive game and he tweaks a hamstring and then he sees the sideline, and then all of us who put Odell Beckham Jr. in there are screwed? So I'm saying pivot away from ODB, as I call him, and get Donovan Peoples-Jones in there.
Yeah, if he plays, he will be on a snap count. Probably they'll keep him fresh and ready for the later on games. I mean, they're not going to overplay him regardless of who's out there, but DPJ is definitely a good pick. Him or
100%.
Higgins.
One more guy, kid, I should say, the rookie Rondale Moore. Arizona goes to Jacksonville. Jacksonville 16th overall against opposing wide receivers. Another wide receiver. You could find so many studs and little nuggets at that $5,600 range on both sites. And then on DraftKings, he's $5,000. Now with Rondale, there's a few things here, and bear with me, it won't take long. Jacksonville is they're not good, obviously, but I didn't think they were. I didn't think they were going to be this bad, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's Urban Meyer. He looks in way over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. And then even today, I think it was Vic Fangio replied back and said that that Urban Meyer said, wow, I didn't expect, I think this is fake. It must be an Onion thing where he goes, I didn't expect the NFL to be so tough. It's like we play Alabama every day. There's no way.
That's a real thing.
That's a quote.
Yeah, because the coach from the other squad said that's what he said to him. So, yeah, I think it is.
So that's bad. That's bad that a head coach would in the NFL reference a college team. So that goes to show you how much Alabama is on his mind all these years. And yeah, hey, Urban Meyer, you're in for a rude awakening. I'm sure you're there now. And to be fair, I don't think Urban Meyer makes it through the season at this rate. He looks completely
USC.
He looks disheveled and awful, and you know what? They'd be best to get rid of him now before he ruins Trevor Lawrence. He's completely suppressing James Robinson and what he can do. So regardless, all this came about from the opposite team's wide receiver, Rondale Moore. I think this kid's got a chance to hit a home run almost every week. After week 3 and maybe after week 4, I think we're going to see a case where Rondale Moore is in play in all formats for the rest of the season because he'll be labeled a home run hitter. He'll take it to the house on any given play, any given Sunday. And what makes that even better for Rondale Moore is his quarterback. Kyler Murray is he's on the fast track to superstardom if he's not there already. But this kid can get done so much. He extends plays and he makes things happen, and that's perfect for a tiny speedster guy like Rondale Moore here. He's going to be. The opposing team they can't keep up with him that long. So Rondale Moore will always find a soft spot, and Kyler Murray will always find him in that soft spot.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's like AJ Green's not even on that roster right now.
AJ Green is a deceased man, just in his spirit out there on the field at this point.
Are we going to start talking about the corpse of AJ Green like we did with David Johnson at this point?
Yeah, the corpse of AJ Green seems to be like lining up on an active roster at this point.
Did you see that play? I don't know. I think it was an offensive snap for Arizona.
The block that AJ Green just
he didn't even
his arms by his side.
Yeah. And I believe it was a turnover, something along those lines. He didn't even know it was like a bubble screen or something like that. Yep. And the guy just breezed right past Green and tackled the wide receiver. And I believe that wide receiver then fumbled the ball. Yeah, AJ Green I think it's over for him. That I feel bad saying that because I was kind of, maybe I was on the resurgence for him this season, and it's he's went full weekend of Bernie's for me.
Yeah, I think we all were on the resurgence for AJ Green.
Change of scenery kind of thing, and yeah. I mean, it's I guess his dominant days are behind him, and
stock down.
Yeah, for sure.
How about tight ends? Who you like a tight end? You're on mute.
Excuse me. That's the second time I did that. I try to mute myself when I'm not talking,
mistake.
so I'm not rude, because when the microphone is muted, when after I'm done talking, I'm constantly going clear my throat so I don't sound like a fool. But in turn, I embarrass myself anyway. So I can't get away from a full New York Giants stack, right? As I said, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, and guess who? Yeah, Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph is only $4,500 on FanDuel and even $3,000 on DraftKings, and Atlanta is 26th overall against tight ends. I've never been in on Evan Ingram. He was a flash in the pan his rookie season, and that's about it. I'm almost certain he hasn't played a single snap all year. If you look at his stats, it's all 0.0. So to me, Kyle Rudolph is in play here. As I told you, if the New York Giants put up 34, 35 points in this one, it's got to come from somewhere. Why can't Saquon score once, or Kenny Golladay, and then Kyle Rudolph, and then that fourth one can be Daniel Jones on the ground here. So I think this New York Giants stack can be very fruitful for us this week. And one more guy, I'm going to mention a situation. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying this anywhere but here. I have Jack Doyle, Indianapolis Colts.
Jack Doyle rules.
Tight end here. And I have Mo Alley Cox in here here as well, and I'll tell you why. I have this weird feeling that Mo Alley Cox is going to throw a touchdown pass to Jack Doyle. Now, I understand that is insane for me to say, but again, I'm going under the guise of if it happens, I look like a genius. If it doesn't, nobody even remembers I said this, so might as well take some shots here and there. So a Jack Doyle, $4,300 on FanDuel, only $3,400 on DraftKings, and Mo Alley Cox, who's a very athletic tight end here. He is $4,600 on FanDuel, $2,600 on DraftKings.
If Mo Alley Cox throws a touchdown to Jack Doyle, which I hope happens, you're picking my lottery numbers next week.
Yeah, I should be verified and instant million followers. Then
Instantly,
we'll go from there. We'll go from there. There's
I
got to
love
be a button like whoever runs Twitter. There's got to be a button somewhere where you click a profile and you can make it anything you want. It could be double verified. It can have 10 million followers. I don't know.
6 check marks.
Yeah, I feel like there's a warehouse somewhere where you see it's like the Batman movie where there's so many computer screens and everybody's profile is up there and they just pick and choose. We're going to verify this guy. We're going to give this girl 10,000 more followers. And it's all a game. It's all an algorithm, and I'm just doing my best to play the game here.
Yep. It's crazy you're not verified yet. The way you've grown over the past year is insane. And the work you do, we need to get you verified.
Maybe I will. I'll look into the application process. I've heard that it's not the application process isn't tough per se, but they're kind of picky with what you can bring link wise or resume wise here, but I can write out a resume and I think it's pretty strong up to this point in terms of rankings and where I've broadcasted and what I've done here. So again, verification doesn't mean much to me. I know that you get a couple more opportunities with it, but again, I don't need a check mark. You can make your own opportunities, and we're here together this evening.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate having you.
Always. Chris, you brought up the Urban Meyer thing where you think there's a chance he doesn't make the season. What do you think about that, Drew? Does he last the season?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he lasts the season. I think a lot of the outside chatter, there's no way that I was buying the story of Urban Meyer ever leaving to go to USC, right? It just wasn't going to happen. Like, Shad Khan and that organization put out a lot of money to bring in Urban Meyer and revamped a lot of the practice facilities. There was tons of cash put into this thing, and so I don't think it's going to be a mid-season type thing. But he does look over his head at this point. I will say that.
Doesn't the son is the owner operator of AEW, if I'm not mistaken, right? So why don't they just run the Jacksonville Jaguars like a wrestling promotion? Every week, there's no head coach on the sideline when the game starts, and then you cut to Jim Ross and you're like, oh my God, here's Wayne Fonts coming. Like just some crazy weird promotion every week with the head coach.
I want to see Chris Jericho calling plays.
That would be fantastic. Or can you imagine Jericho on the sideline with a headset, with one of those those play calling sheets that are laminated and it looks like a Denny's menu? Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine Chris Jericho on the sideline with his list and all that, with headphones, with that leather jacket and there's spikes all over it? That would be, that would mean that the NFL has officially jumped the shark, but it would still be fun.
Would become must-watch TV. But,
no doubt.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I can see Urban lasting the season, but if it stays this way, if he keeps looking stressed out like this, we know he's always had the health problems, whether we've believed in him or not.
We haven't done that. We haven't believed.
Maybe the grind is just too much in the NFL, and it's way easier to slide to USC because I'm still convinced that USC has always been his dream job, and it just happened to open up at this time.
The problem is he can't recruit the top players, right? So his team is at they're at a low advantage because the roster is kind of shit.
Yeah,
but he can't just bring in a bunch of 5-stars and his team's faster, bigger, stronger than other teams. This is the NFL. It's a league based off of build off of parity.
Yeah, and this just hit me while you were talking, Jeremy. I believe that Urban Meyer in football circles, he's earned some sort of respect. And again, this is an amateur hour; it's the NFL. I think that if he happens to leave midway through the season, which I do expect, I think it'll be a meeting where the Jacksonville Jaguars say, you know what, we'll give you the opportunity to kind of medically retire from Jacksonville, or say you're stepping away because of medical reasons, whether that's true or not, instead of just firing him and putting that nasty blemish on his resume here. So again, I think Urban Meyer is out as a Jacksonville head coach sometime this season.
Wow.
I mean, it's just not often that a guy gets canned in the middle of his first year.
No.
And if he plays the medical card, which he's played 14 times, and he continues to take coaching jobs, then say, for example, he did end up being USC's job. Like, what is he even anymore? Like, he's just a complete fraud. And he was a Buckeye coach, which, like we won a national championship with 12 gauge back there. And so I have respect for him, but like, yeah, it's at this point, if he just walks away and then even entertains coaching in the future, that's an embarrassing, terrible look on him.
Florida fans called him a fraud the second he came to Ohio State, and I didn't want to hear it because I'm a Buckeye fan.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear it then. Hey, maybe Florida's fans had a point. We'll find out. We'll see what
what I compare this to. It's like we've all dated a woman, right? And I haven't done this personally, but I've seen it happen a bunch where I'm dating a chick and she says, well, you know what, Chris, it's just not working out. I need some time to myself. And then a week later, she's Facebook official with somebody else. So you know that she had something else lined up this whole time. And then she gave me the spiel where it's not you, it's me. But if you're taking time to yourself, why are you already dating another guy? So the same thing with Urban Meyer, medically retire or get fired completely, and then he'll pop up as the USC head coach sometime in the early spring, and you're like, well, I thought you were sick and you couldn't coach, but here you are.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. He's got all those pictures on his coffee table too.
Urban will be Facebook official with USC by February. We'll see.
Right after the bowl season there, he'll be USC's head coach.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Chris, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it as always.
Chris,
absolutely.
Check out my Twitter tomorrow at Somerville CLE for the link for more of these hoodies. Support Chris and the Wild Heart Wildlife Rescue. And Chris, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I'll be in touch.
All right, man. Sounds good. See you, bud.
So we got into Urban Meyer, which I didn't expect it all to happen, but that was a good talk. We'll have to definitely look into that to see what happens. Chris, big on the Giants this week, but not surprising.
He is, yeah.
He is big on that. They're averaging 40 points they've given up. Dan Quinn leaves, and all of a sudden the defense can't tackle anyone even more. But let's get into headlines around the NFL here. Adam Schefter reporting that because of the Aaron Rodgers flirtation with the 49ers, that Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan are so mad at each other. They're angry with each other. They want to fight. In a fight between Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan, who you got? Show's just going crazy off the rails now.
No, I know. I'm really just trying to process this whole potential torn hamstring injury for CMC.
Yeah, I knew it was bothering you a little more than you let off right at first.
Which is a lot for me. Like it's a lot. I just saw him like limping into a locker. But that's not here nor there. I will take Matt LaFleur.
All right.
In a fight, and here's the reasons. I don't want to. There's really not many that I can actually say that are legitimate in this circumstance. But Kyle Shanahan's he's more of a pretty boy, in my opinion, than a Matt LaFleur. And so I'm going to take Matt LaFleur. I know that Kyle Shanahan runs the shiny plays and has this great offensive playbook, and people think of that of Matt LaFleur to an extent of that. But if we're fighting, I'm taking Matt LaFleur.
I'm with you on that. I unfortunately am taking Matt LaFleur too. I can't even argue with Kyle Shanahan. This is a guy who, to get out of Cleveland, put together a PowerPoint to get out of here. Like, get mad, go into someone's office, storm, get angry. I just don't see him as that kind of dude. For Matt LaFleur, I can see him getting pissed off and kicking someone at least.
I just want to.
Yes.
So I'm playing my uncle in fantasy.
Okay.
And he texts me, hamstrings. They're kind of like violin strings. And and that's a dick thing to say, and I'm not okay with that. But that's fair. But no, yeah, we'll take LaFleur in this one.
That'll be our quote of the night. Hamstrings, they're kind of like violin strings.
Here we
But
go.
yeah. All right, let's get the show back on track, kind of. All right, staying in the headlines. Police report. This is from 10tv.com, Grove City, near Columbus, I guess, is Grove City in Ohio here. A police report says 7 referees were barricaded inside a locker room on September 10th after a vending machine was moved to block the entrance. High school referees say they were blocked in the locker room after the game at Grove City High School on September 10th. And now it looks like they want to sue the school district. Locking referees into a room because of a bad call. Like these
Football
dudes,
guy. That's a football guy.
everyone, there's all these people saying it was definitely kids. There is no doubt in my mind that kids had nothing to do with this.
Oh no, the kids aren't smart enough to know to move the. I mean, what are we doing? There's no chance it was the kids. There's 100% chance that it was the coach and the coaching staff. I'm 100% in on that, and I love it. Those are just football guys.
Or just angry parents.
Or angry parents. That's a different perspective I didn't think of.
Like they made the bad call against their kid, and they're like,
do the parents have access to like?
I mean, you walk down the
the
hall,
locker
you get
room,
in all the halls.
I mean, you're right. You're right. This
schools.
isn't the Pentagon. I'm sure that you could there's some wiggle room to get around security or something, but
Hey Barney, you mind if I head into the hallway real quick there? No, don't worry about it. I've known you all my life.
Yeah, that's just a football guy move. That's a football guy move.
But these guys, there's 7 referees barricaded, and they can't push a vending machine.
That's
Doesn't
also
seem
the
like,
point.
dude, think about it.
What kind of vending machine was it? So this is important. What kind of vending machine was it? Because if it was a vending machine with chips and granola bars and things like that, that weight is going to be less than a vending machine full of drinks, right? Fluids. It would become more heavier, which may be harder for a referee to push that as compared to like a chip vending machine.
Now, I don't have this officially, but sources say that it was a chip and candy vending machine.
Okay, well
so
then
the fat guy in me has a problem with that because I'm thinking they blocked you with this thing. You push it over, that glass breaks. You might as well take some candy and chips home with you for the ride. Like they locked
4 bags of Core Doritos and a couple of Snickers. I'm with you.
I'm in for that. I mean, this is such a crazy story. Now these guys want to sue the school district. Like, come on now. I get being embarrassed, but really suing the school district.
Have you been? It's 2021, dude. Everybody's suing the shit out of everybody. It's just a whole free for all. It's there's really like no morals or like right or wrong anymore. Like everybody hates each other, and so we're just gonna sue the shit out of each other. So yeah, that's a normal thing. The referees they're like we're getting paid $8 an hour, and we got pinned in by a vending machine allegedly full of chips and candy bars. Allegedly. And it's a tough look.
It is a tough look. And I mean, I get being embarrassed. And yeah, that's got to be a terrible job. It really does. I've covered high school football a lot. And I see what these are I walk up and I'm like talking to kids' parents. I'm like, hey, how you doing, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so. Sweet people as I'm walking up to the press box. I sit down, I get out my watermelon Twizzlers. I always got my watermelon Twizzlers for a game. Always take care of that. Sit down.
It's kind of weird.
One play happens. I love my watermelon Twizzlers, man. Don't knock them. I will come over there.
I didn't knock them. I said it's kind of weird.
So I sit down, and you just hear some of the things these people say to the referees. It's absolutely mind-boggling. You would think, I mean, it's worse than what you hear on Sundays from drunk Browns fans in the dog pound sometimes. It's unbelievable. So being locked in there doesn't surprise me one bit. Let's move on from this. And my watermelon Twizzlers. NFL released their Hall of Fame list. 122 players, part of the 2022 class. Among them, Anquan Bolden, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Steve Smith, Jake Long, Nick Mangold, DeMarcus Ware, Robert Mathis, Vince Wilfork, Antonio Cromartie. Out of those guys, anyone getting in first ballot?
Were you naming the candidates or the names of Antonio Cromartie's children? Because it about added up to the same.
It's only 122 players. That's it, not 186 children.
I could argue Devin Hester, maybe? Like, you could argue that. I mean, he was the best return man the league's ever seen and probably will ever see. I mean, listen, we watch football now and kicking returns, and I know that things have been moved up to try to, for the safety of the player, but there's still tons of opportunities. Like, guys take it out all the time, and punt return wise, like Devin Hester was good for like
Electric.
2 touchdowns every single year, just special team wise, and that's just touchdowns, not only flipping the field in crucial situations. I mean, Devin Hester, I could certainly make an argument for. It's tough because none of those guys like pop off to you like this guy has to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I could definitely make the argument for Devin Hester, I think.
Devin Hester, maybe DeMarcus Ware, right off the top of my head. And that's borderline. Vince Wilfork.
Maybe.
Vince Wilfork was really, really
I
good.
love Vince Wilfork and his cool videos and dancing around barbecues and shit. Like that's my thing. I'm with that. But like, yeah, I'm not 100%. Can you believe that he freaking maybe tore his hamstring? Like, what is going on here, dude?
That is
God
tough.
bless it. All right.
That is really tough if
Sorry to
Cap
randomly bring
did
that up.
tear his hamstring, because we don't want to see this kid out anymore. This kid's fun to watch all over the field. I mean, everything he does everything good. It's fun. It makes the Panthers decent. And now we got a 7-0 game almost going into halftime here. Looking at the running backs who are eligible, Sean Alexander eligible. Not a first-year guy, though. Eddie George. These guys get in eventually.
Eventually.
Okay.
I think. This isn't the Baseball Hall of Fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like where the Baseball Hall of Fame is like certainly skewed by people's opinions on things that happened that may or may not have affected the game from a PED perspective, where we don't have that. I just like, is the Hall of Fame too big? So like, at what point is the Hall of Fame too big? And do we induct too many people?
I don't think the NFL does. I think the NFL does a solid job of who gets in. That's why I think Steve Smith is a borderline Hall of Famer. He was a really good player. Funny guy to listen to. But is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know about that. And when you look at who else is available and still not in, Patrick Wills, eligible this year, was eligible last year, didn't get in. I think Patrick Wills is one of the best linebackers of his time, of his generation. And he might not get in, at least this year. Willie McGinnis. Is Willie McGinnis a Hall of Famer?
No.
Okay. Going defensive backs, Rondé Barber, Hall of Famer?
No, I don't.
Just really good player.
A damn good player with a Super Bowl ring. Like, I get it. Like, but again, like, it's a lot of this where I don't know. I don't know how to go with the argument. These guys may deserve it, but like, did they deserve it down the road? Like, what the hell is the difference putting them in the Hall of Fame, 6 years down the road than it is now? I mean, I guess a first ballot's a real, a big deal, but like, if they're not really worthy now, like 6 years from now, are we just giving them a pity ass vote at that point because they've been sitting on the Hall of Fame, committee and brink for a certain number of years? I just don't know. David Mills, though, just a legend, absolute legend.
Anthony Miller touchdown. Anthony Miller's a guy who I thought was going to be solid coming out. Did nothing in Chicago, gets traded to Houston, and scores 1 touchdown. Legend now. Let's move on. We did have a Facebook comment or a comment from, YouTube. James Little, can y'all help me with my picks? He put up 1, Arkansas +7 versus Texas A&M.
I can't take Arkansas as much as I'd like to. Texas A&M has been sketchy, but I have to go with Texas A&M. Just too much talent on that team. Arkansas is they're a bulldog kind of team, even though they're I'm pretty sure like a pig of some sort, a razorback of that nature. But no, I definitely am going to go with A&M. I had high hopes for A&M coming into the year. I still do. I just think that they've been really inconsistent, especially on the offense side of the ball. But I'm still going to go with A&M.
Yeah, A&M was a team I think we both really thought would be solid enough to maybe knock off Alabama. And they've done absolutely nothing. And Alabama was a team I thought would fall out of the playoffs this year, or that you'd have to get early, and they're a machine. Alabama's unbelievable. What they're doing is just sick, and hey, it's Bama being Bama, baby. And that's the problem. All these teams, you look at Ohio State right now. Ohio State in what would normally be a year where you can say, hey, they've got to rebuild, they got to do something. Everyone's like, no, you got to keep winning. Everyone is being compared to Bama, and there is no comparing yourself to Bama. And that's why, I saw on Twitter, what is the best job in NCAA, in college football right now? And Bama was number one. And to me, it's not. Because whoever takes over that job from Nick Saban,
that's a good point.
It is a miserable thing to do because
you lose 2 games. You lose 2 games and you're just the Antichrist.
Fire him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Unrealistic expectations, thanks to Nick Saban. Yeah, this show, I don't even know where we're at anymore. You want to get towards wagers?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
First?
No, we'll do Ward's wagers first. Let me pull my.
All right, let me get everything together.
Here. All right, so we'll start out. I will take Baltimore minus the 8 points at Detroit. Don't love it, hate it. Facts though, reality kind of sets in. I wanted to bet New Orleans, but what the hell is New Orleans? I'm staying away from New Orleans for a little while because I bet New Orleans last week, and New Orleans looked like absolute dog shit. I mean, Jameis looked like they retracted the LASIK that he had once gotten. It was not good. So I'm gonna stay away from New Orleans here.
Wait. You saying he got those eyes on layaway and missed a payment?
Yeah, exactly. They can take that shit back. Yeah, they can.
It's like financing a tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. The next game I'll go to is I'll take Green Bay on the road in San Francisco. They're getting a field goal and a half, so 3.5 points. I think Green Bay. The Lions are a great team to kind of get everything back going, like positively for you, and we certainly did that. Like the first half was the first half, and I texted my cousin. I said, "What are the chances the Lions win?" And we were both around like about 6 to 8%, and we were winning at halftime. So we kind of know what was going to happen. But I think for the Lions, it's just an uphill battle. But I think for me, Green Bay showed some signs there in the second half. They were good. I will take them with the 3.5. I'm also going to go with Tampa on the road -1 against Matt Stafford. I'm sick of the Matt Stafford shit. He needs to start throwing more picks. Like, I'm just tired of it. But listen, I think
is this like going back to the kind of the girlfriend? Is this like hating on your ex-girlfriend because
yes.
Fine?
Well, it's not even that. It's the Lions get their first round pick, so
yeah.
I need them to lose as many games as possible, and that hasn't gone well so far. Both these teams are 2-0 heading out to that beautiful new stadium there in LA. But I will take the Buccaneers -1. And then my last pick is going to be Dallas at home, giving up 4 against Philadelphia. Philadelphia has done some nice things, and Dallas has kind of been struggling defensively. The offense has looked okay. They got the running game going a little bit last week. I like Dallas in this situation, and I think that they need this game. So does Philadelphia, but I think at home Dallas gets it done here, and I'm willing to give up 4 points. I think it's a 7-10 football game when it's all said and done.
Is Zeke going to get anything done, or is it Tony Pollard show in Dallas now?
I don't think it's Tony Pollard show because here's the thing. So if you paid $4,000 for a TV, right? Big TV, nice TV, and then you paid $700 for a TV. That $700 TV had maybe better picture, like you actually kind of like that $700. But you're gonna watch that $4,000 TV because you spent $4,000 on it.
100%
so that's
right.
kind of where I kind of put things with the Pollard Zeke perspective. Yeah, they're gonna definitely share some carries to an extent, but Zeke's gonna be the one getting the football.
I'm with you on that. That was Ward's Wagers, 8-8 this year. Let's go 4-0 this week. Sponsored by Latani CBD Olive Oil. To order, call 440-479-4832 or email anandamij@gmail.com. It is $14.99 a bottle. It is good stuff. Order it with the money you win.
Week 2 was weird with the betting, dude. Week 2, lots of quarterbacks went down. There was just lots of weird things. I'm going to chalk that up to a weird week, and we're moving on to this week. And
at halftime, Chris was on earlier. He said DJ Moore was the guy you pick to be a captain. If you pick DJ Moore to be your captain, you're looking pretty good at halftime. 6 catches, 100 yards at halftime. Pretty good for him, but it is, I believe, 7-7 at half. Here on Thursday, 7-6, Thursday Night Football. I didn't look at it. They missed the extra point.
They did. That's Houston.
Trash. But yeah, Houston receives the ball, starts the second half. Let's get to our game picks. We are doing good so far this year. Based on what I have written down, I am at 25-7. You are at 24-8. Still got that lead.
Pretty sure I was 32-0, but go ahead.
I mean, I had to make it look. Come on, we can't have you 32-0. Can't show off that much.
No. All right, I'm on undefeated week this week. Christian McCaffrey, God bless you.
Seeing that thing, it looked like it popped and snapped. That is not good. Yeah. Let's go. Chicago Bears 1-1, traveling to Cleveland with Justin Fields starting. It's a 1:00 kickoff.
Browns.
This will be Fox, Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen. You're taking the Browns right off the bat. I also will take the Browns. I think this is going to be a game where Justin Fields has 3 scores, but I think the Browns score 35 and win it.
Yeah, can we real quick? The Browns defenses look like absolute ass, so they better get that together. All those flashy names on paper there have been just absolute dog shit. Myles Garrett, where are you at, dude? Hey, where are you at, Myles Garrett? We haven't even called your name, 95.
Myles Garrett, MIA, missing person right now. I gave them the pass for Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes is shifty. Tyrod, Davis Mills,
no. You do 74-foot box jumps, Myles Garrett. Where you at? We haven't even called it. It's like, come on, let's get it together. That's all I'm going to say.
Defense, everyone's, hating on them, and rightfully so. Give me 4 weeks. Let's see after that. And then if nothing is better after week 4, then I'm going to start bitching about it every week on this show. Baltimore Ravens 1-1 at Detroit Lions. We've both taken the Ravens.
Yes.
We'll move on from that one. Arizona Cardinals at Jacksonville Jaguars.
Arizona.
And Arizona looks like, right now, Arizona. I look really wrong on them.
It's been 2 games, so let's ride this. Let's ride this heat wave while I can.
And when they finish 2-15.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers 1-1 at Kansas City Chiefs 1-1.
Chargers.
Herbert and Mahomes.
I'll take the Chargers.
Taking the Chargers. I'll take the Chiefs. I was thinking about going the opposite way, but now that you did, can't go that way. New Orleans Saints travel to New England to face the Patriots.
I hate this game and everything about it. I don't even know what to say about this football game. I'm going to take the New England Patriots, but I have no basis to tell you.
With that pick at all?
I don't feel comfortable. The problem is do I feel more comfortable with the Patriots, or do I feel more comfortable with Jameis and whatever the hell happened last week?
And Alvin Kamara, who is like a shell.
I didn't know he was on the team. I didn't know he was even on the team anymore. So I'll go with the Pats.
He's leading them in rushing, 28 carries for 88 yards, a 3.1 average clip. Leading them in receiving, 7 catches, 33 yards for 4.7 average clip and touchdown. It has not been good, yet they're 1-1. They're traveling to face Mac Jones.
I also think week 1 was perfect. Everything they did was just everything they did works. They faced no adversity. And week 2, I think they did. And I think week 2 is, I don't want to say it's more of the team than I think week 1 was, because I think they're okay. But I think that it's definitely more of a team week 2 that we saw week 1, where everything just seemed to be, as simple as it comes.
I think the biggest storyline of this game is Chris Hogan returns to New England.
Wow.
That's what I'm looking at. Huge.
Man, can't wait to see those 4 targets.
I'm going to have tears streaming down my face. Anyway, I'm going to take the Saints for no other reason than we don't know who's going to show up or do what. Anyway, Atlanta Falcons 0-2, giving up 40 points a game at New York Giants 0-2. Someone will probably win this game. Chris is big on the Giants. Are you going Giants?
I'm going to Atlanta.
You're going Atlanta. I will take the Giants.
I love Chris, but I'm going with Atlanta. Kyle Pitts has 7 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, it's a remarkable performance.
7 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts isn't even the craziest thing we've heard on this show today. It's going to be a crazy tight end weekend. We're going to have Alley Cox throwing touchdowns to Jack Doyle. 7 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts.
I'm sure he's probably maybe 1 that we could hope for, but 7 might be a little Yeah, I'm waiting. If Malali Cox throws a touchdown, I swear to God, I don't even care if Malali Cox throws a touchdown to Jack Doyle or not. Even if it's not to Jack Doyle, if he throws a pass, Chris is just a genius.
Legend. Instant. We're putting him in the Hall of Fame. He's our first ballot Hall of Famer. Off that alone.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Washington football team. Speaking of defenses, this defense hasn't looked that great, and we're big on that defensive line. Yeah. Are we overrating them, or is it just early season struggles?
I mean, probably both.
Okay. They're traveling to Buffalo to face the 1-1 Buffalo Bills. Who you like?
I'll take the Bills. I mean, the Bills haven't done anything. Like I know the Bills won last week, but let's not act like the Bills' offense has looked anything like we saw from last year. And my Josh Allen MVP pick, that shit needs to get going here because I right as of right now, it's not great. But I do think Buffalo has the talent and the speed to kind of just get it done, especially with Fitzmagic out and down in this one. So, although I like some of the things that they have, and clearly the front four defensively with Terry McLaurin as well, I gotta fade them at this week.
Yeah, it's tough to go against that defense and what that line can do. And we haven't seen great Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 47 of 84, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 77.9 QB rating. I mean, he hasn't been very good. But that defense for Buffalo right now, we talk about defense in this game. Buffalo's defense giving up 11.5 points a game, shut out Miami and Jacoby Brissett last week, giving up only 234 yards, where Washington in this vaunted defense that we were both huge on, they're giving up over 400 yards a game. Now, for this to work, for the Bills to win this game, you got to keep feeding Devin Singletary, who's had a pretty good start to the year, 24 carries, 154 yards, averaging 6.4 yards a carry. You got to stay balanced. But I'm going to take the Bills as well. But I could see Taylor Heineke and the boys sneaking in and winning this one. Moving on to our next game. Let's see what we got here. New York Jets 0-2 at Denver Broncos 2-0. Teddy B got the boys moving. Are they going to 3-0?
Denver, yeah, I think they are. I mean, Zach Wilson had a rough one last week, man. Yeah, he's trying to play hero ball, and it just continually backfired on him. I'm going to take the guy that I kind of trust, and I know what Teddy Bridgepiece give me every week for the most part. Going to take care of the football. They're going to try to run it. I'll go Denver.
Yeah, I like what Denver's done. It was nice to see the resurgence of Cortland Sutton last week, who we have both been big on, I believe, for the past couple of years. Yeah, coming off injury. Nice player, finally getting his due. I'm going to take the Broncos as well. And, hey, if you guys haven't been on Twitter, check out the 12-year-old breaking down one of the plays that the Jets had. And just
the kid was right, too. The kid was
100% right. He wasn't even given names. He's like, in 78, he's just standing here staring at his other guy. Excellent work by the 12-year-old. I think it was a TikTok video. It might have been, but I've seen it on Twitter because I'm an old man. Anyway, Miami Dolphins, led by Jacoby Brissett with Tua out with a rib injury, go to the 2-0 Chucky and Derek Carr, looking like a Super Bowl team here. Raiders move to 3-0?
Yeah, no, you meant the 3-0 Raiders.
Oh, the 3-0 Raiders. My bad.
Yeah, here's the deal. The Raiders, I don't want to say the Raiders are a great football team, but Derek Carr has been really, really good. And I think that even with Josh Jacobs out, they were still able to kind of do what they wanted offensively last week. Darren Waller didn't have the huge game that he did the week before, but that just kind of shows me this offense can kind of win in different ways. I like Las Vegas here, not Oakland. I do like Las Vegas here. And so that'll be. I'll go with the Las Vegas Raiders.
I like Vegas here as well. I hope Henry Ruggs. They finally realize guys are really fast.
Big game last week.
And it was nice to see them go into Pittsburgh, whoop the Steelers after traveling to the East Coast on a short week. That's a big win for a West Coast team doing that.
I agree.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-0 at Los Angeles Rams.
Tampa.
Yep. I am going to take the Rams. I don't want to do that, but I will take the Rams.
Sorry,
Seattle Seahawks 1-1 at Minnesota Vikings 0-2. Vikings lost a tough one last week, man. They came back on
missed field goal.
former Cleveland Browns legend, Greg Joseph. Just
Your
great.
boy, by the way, Cyberd's got COVID. He can't play this week. We got our backup kicker in. But I will take Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle. I don't know what Dalvin Cook's situation is going into the weekend. I know he hasn't practiced this week. By the way, can we stop freaking out about guys not practicing on Wednesday? If you've ever watched the NFL, like the big guys don't practice on Wednesdays. We don't have to put out reports saying, "Oh man, this guy's not practicing on Wednesday." It's a thing that happens every freaking year, and the fact that you continue to do it's ridiculous.
The Austin Seibert thing. Did you ever hear the story of why John Dorsey drafted him in the 5th round here in Cleveland?
No, I would love to hear it though. Tell me, John.
It was the sound the football made off of his foot, is what I heard.
That's a football guy.
That is a football guy. The sound of the football off of his foot.
That's a football
in
guy.
Norman, Oklahoma. I'm going to take Seahawks as well. Let's see what we got here. Green Bay Packers traveling to San Francisco. We could see the fight at halftime.
Yeah, Green
on
Bay.
Sunday Night Football. Drew Brees and Tony Dungy got to run out there and break it up. Let's hope they're there. Who you like, the Packers?
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay.
That's what
Tony Dungy isn't breaking up any fight. He's just going to call the Lord and ask him to pray for those folks.
just kneeling and praying
Yeah,
for
listen.
their families.
Kyle Shanahan needs prayers, dear Lord.
I'm going to take the Niners. What else we got here? Did we get Bengals, Steelers? No, we didn't. Bengals at Steelers. Who you like?
Steelers.
I will take the Bengals. Sticking with the Bengals, even though I benched my boy Joe Burrow this week. Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans. Mo Alley Cox throwing touchdown to Jack Doyle. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Titans in this one because it sounds like Carson Wentz is going to be a no-go. I think what Derrick Henry did last week was they certainly established a run. He was dominant. And in turn, you saw, Ryan Tannehill's stats be what they are when they're able to run the ball. Ryan Tannehill's really, really good when he can work play action and actually have time. So I expect a little, more of what they did last week, especially based off the fact that Carson Wentz is probably not going to play.
Yeah, and the second Carson Wentz went out of that game last week, it was
The man's got a high ankle sprain. The man twisted, but he's got 2 sprained ankles. I've never even heard of it. But
I heard his feet are on backwards. That's how bad it is.
he put his shoes on the wrong feet in the morning.
I'm going to also take the Titans. Let's finish it off. Philadelphia Eagles 1-1 at Dallas Cowboys.
I'll take Dallas.
Yep, I'm going with you. And see, this is why we do Ward's wagers after, because I knew your picks. We went.
Yeah, you knew 4 of them.
Yeah,
you knew 4 of them for sure.
I'm asking you. I still got to ask you who you think, but you already said it. That's all we got. You got anything else you want to add to this?
No, man. Tonight? It was fun.
It's fun as always.
Hope for a quick recovery for Christian McCaffrey.
Ask Tony Dungy to pray for him.
And I'll be just crying in a corner as soon as we get off the air.
Listen, man. You bounce back from it.
I got ammo.
Year.
I got ammo to go get. I got ammo to go get somebody if I need to.
That is a tough loss, though, for a lot of people with CMC out. But hey, this one.
My first Super Bowl was without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So
you had Jeff Wilson win the game for you.
I picked up Jeff Wilson today and I threw him on IR just to have him there until he came back. But damn, now he's gonna have to leave the team more than likely because I need to throw somebody else on IR.
Jeff Wilson, the stud that won you a Super Bowl. Brother man, fun as always. For those watching, thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you check my Twitter tomorrow at Somerville CLE. Get this nice ass hoodie. Dude, this hoodie is super comfy.
It's a great hoodie. It's a great hoodie.
Rise with Beastie or Fall Alone. Yeah, you get the video of me being the plus size model I always dreamed to be. That's also up on my Twitter with my kids filming it and being like, Dad, we're cold. Just film it for a second, please, kids. Daddy wants to be a plus size model.
Yeah. This is my audition,
in a little coat.
Yeah, this is my audition. This is my time to shine.
Right outside their mom's house, I look like an idiot. But hey, that's what I do. I look like an idiot. Brother, like I said, fun as always. Anything else you want to get off your chest tonight?
I'll do it, man. Everybody have a good rest of your week and a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week. Davis Mills, 11 of 14, 94 yards. Just killing it. He's got the Jameis stat line almost.
Dunk.
And with that, we're out. Catch Drew on Twitter at DetroitDave7. Catch everything he does. Follow him for golf tips. DM him to fix your swing. Don't suck at golf anymore. Let this man fix your shit for you.
That's right. Send them my way.
And with that, we're out. And remember, as always, if you live the life you love the life you live. Night, kids.